right, welcome everybody to the Scale Nation podcast. We got my co-hosts here, Zach and Carl. And today is a special day, the last intro episode. This day, we're going to talk with the doer, the godfather of getting it done,
Oh yeah,
Zach. Yeah, out of all three of us, Zach has the most experience. So let's,
by far.
by far, that statement is an understatement. So
It's
let's
only
get
been 5 years,
started.
guys. It's only been 5 years.
Yeah, but 5 years. Only been 5 years. That's even better, dude. I remember I talked to my mother a couple of days ago and I was like, Mom, I want to be a millionaire. She said, okay, I'll see you in a million in 10 years. I was like, 10 years is too long. What am I doing? It's taking 10 years. So yeah, well, I'm trying to
Yeah,
aim
I
for like
mean,
the
I
next two,
started
three.
on that path too. I didn't even have my eyes set on being a millionaire when I first started this. I just wanted to buy property because I needed a retirement fund, basically.
Interesting.
So I
Interesting.
started buying properties, and I actually hung around a 500,000 in net worth for three years.
Really? I
Yep.
have to ask, what did you do? Like, did you do the what I did, right? Go to school, get a profession and stuff like that. So how did that start? Like, I want to hear that journey
Oh, like from the beginning.
from the beginning. Yeah, because I need to
Yeah.
see how you like jumped into real estate. I gotta see
Oh
how that
gosh,
happened.
I jumped everywhere. So in high school, I actually went to a technical high school. I was actually training to be a plumber.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
So I went to tech
Wow.
school for plumbing. After that, I went to a community college, got my associate's degree in psychology.
Okay.
After that, I went to culinary school, and I'm a trained chef.
The more I hear about this, the more I'm thinking about Robert Kiyosaki. Just going to get skills and everything.
Hmm.
Get it all done, right?
Yeah, get it all.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a trained chef. Then after that, I actually I interned at the Mount Washington Hotel and Resort up in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, um, as a garde chef.
Wow,
So I was in charge of the cold foods,
that is
appetizers and such.
That word confused me a little bit.
Garde,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
That's like sounds French.
yeah,
It
yeah, absolutely.
sounds expensive.
Classical French trained chef here. But yeah, so I did that work for a while. It was pretty cool because outside my window in the kitchen, I saw the Mount Washington. I saw the peaks and everything, the snow-capped mountain,
So you
even
did
in the
all this
summertime.
in Pittsburgh, sounds like.
What's that?
You did all this in Pittsburgh.
No, no, no,
No,
no.
no.
I didn't grow up in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
No,
so
I grew up in
how big is
Connecticut.
Mount Washington then? I'm
Mount
wondering.
Washington is in New Hampshire.
He's
Oh,
talking
okay,
about the Mount
okay.
Washington in
I'm talking about
Pittsburgh.
the Mount Washington in
Oh,
Pittsburgh. I'm
no, no,
thinking like you
no.
were
It's
in the
just a little hill. It's not that
city.
big.
Yeah, it said Mount Washington. I'm over here thinking it's huge.
No, no, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool, doing that. But after that, I left. I actually, I mean, yes, it's from there. I became a general manager for a frozen yogurt shop for a while. Up and left there, and ended up in Reading, Pennsylvania, and working at Sheets. Uh,
Sheets, what sheets?
Sheets is like a Wawa.
Hmm.
Oh, so it's like gas station also as also
Yeah.
convenience store type thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow,
Now they're like
Yeah.
full
interesting.
restaurants.
Really?
Yeah, they
Huh.
have so much seating, and you could throw a party there if you wanted to. There's that many
That's pretty
that
cool.
many seats.
That's pretty cool.
Right. So I did
So
that
what
for
did
4 years. After that, I went into banking. So I started off as a teller in a bank,
okay.
worked my way up within 4 years to being a branch manager, uh, doing loans and mortgages. I was at one point I was doing over $4 million in mortgages and loans every year. Um, and then I got bored. Now,
That
granted, I
makes
had already
sense.
started investing in real estate then, right? So
When did
this
you start
was
investing in real estate?
I
Like when you
started
were at
investing in real estate.
Sheets?
I bought my first property in 2020. I was at the bank. I was sitting
Okay.
at my desk, scrolling the internet, scrolling Zillow, found a pretty good deal, and I called up the agent that actually helped me buy my house, and I said, I want to see this. So the first property I bought was five single family homes on 1 acre lot.
Five
I,
single family homes on 1 acre. But let's walk back there a little bit. when you were looking at these, you were just bored, right? You didn't have any real estate experience or like we're into the
No, I
game
had
yet.
I had read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and that was it.
Oh, wow. Wow. Now, did you have savings or did you just, or you just bought this with your own money because you had
No,
saved
I
so
bought
much
this
before
no
you
money out of
listed?
pocket.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
So,
I love hearing that. That's
yeah,
that's
so how did you, so there's a lot of people out there, including me, right? I never thought about, other people's money or no money down. So how did you come to that conclusion that you can do that, right?
Well, here's the thing: is I leveraged my relationships. At the time, I was still working at the bank. I knew the commercial lender really well. I had a
Whoa.
conversation with her, and she told me as long as the equity in the property is high enough, they'll lend 100%. So they lent me $115,000 for this $150,000 purchase.
This was 2020, everyone. So I
This is
don't think anyone would
2020.
do that now. I mean, if you find somebody who can do that now, call me.
Yeah, we're
Let me
talking
know.
an agency lender lent me 100% for the purchase price.
That that is insane.
Yep,
I have to ask, 2020 was also during COVID, right?
right.
So no one was coming into the bank, you're just sitting there bored, and you're
Yeah,
just
I was
like,
bored. I was actually at the time a personal banker. I was doing, like I said, doing loans, but I was also at that time also running a register, a drawer too, because we were running in shifts. We had
oh,
a staff at the bank. A full staff was there was like 6 to 8 of us, but we had cut that in half, so we actually worked week on, week off. So if one
hmm.
shift, one team got sick, we had the other team to keep the bank running.
So you're just sitting there, and you're sitting there still giving out loans, all virtual, having meetings virtual,
Meetings through the drive-through,
qualifying virtual.
meetings
The
through virtual,
drive-through.
yeah, through the
I
drive-through.
I really feel like COVID changed a lot of like how everything used to be really in person, if you remember. Like everything you do, DoorDash wasn't big, Uber
Well,
wasn't
Zoom
Lyft,
wasn't
Lyft
even
wasn't,
big.
Zoom
Zoom
wasn't
wasn't.
big, yeah,
But this happens and now, you know, tap to pay. Oh, how fast that they made that move too. Because that used to be unheard of. Like, oh, I can tap my phone to pay for something.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
that's
saying
it.
all of the developments like that I've seen with the virtual capabilities, I find it to be really great, especially with real estate. You can do virtual tours. You can do, you use AI to, help you essentially not underwrite deals, but, give you insight on the value into something.
oh
It's
yeah,
You
I
just,
so
use AI
you
all the
could use
time.
AI to underwrite deals, yeah.
Hmm.
I'm still on this drive-through thing, right? So I'm thinking that someone's coming to drive-through. Hi, can I get a loan and $50,000 cash?
Well, we
And
weren't
then you're
handing
just
out
like,
cash. We were either putting it in their bank account or giving them a cashier's check. So we weren't handing out 50,000 in cash. I mean, the bank has a
to the
ceiling limit
tubes.
that only goes up so
To,
high. The bank doesn't carry millions of dollars in a safe anymore,
no,
no,
no, no, I get it.
I have to
But you're
put a
sending it.
notice if I want 5 grand.
Yeah.
It's like,
All right. So you got your five properties on one lot. Did they qualify this as commercial? Because I heard you talked to a
They
commercial lender.
qualified it as commercial. They did.
Interesting. Were they all next to each other or were they connected?
Yeah, no, all next to each other on one lot. They're all single family dwellings. It's a 3 bedroom, two bedrooms, and two one bedrooms.
Now, do you
Yep.
still own this one today?
I do, and this is the one that I'm actually keeping because I actually utilize one of the one bedrooms with a garage for my office and the construction business as well.
Oh,
So
that's clever.
I utilize that, and it's a lot easier to go into town, be at the office. That way, I'm not sitting at home wondering, okay, now I got to do dishes. Oh, the laundry just went off.
Yeah, yeah, I get
I
it.
can focus. You
I
know.
work from home too, and I'm just sitting here. Ding! Oh, I gotta go check something. So,
Yep.
so I have to ask. So you got your first 5 unit property. Not many people even think about getting your 5 unit property. They think about a single family or whatever. So after when you got that, was it instant success or was it like struggling?
This one was pretty good. This one was nice, especially through COVID and that eviction moratorium. I had no issues whatsoever. People paid their rent, which was awesome. Um,
That's lucky. Oh
I
wow, that's
it, there
lucky.
was it was 100% occupied when I purchased it. I kept all the tenants. Now it was below market rent, so I did raise some rent, and they stayed. I also took one of the units, and one of the units was paying. We paid her heating bill. So I took the propane out, put in electric heaters, made it more efficient that way, but passed that bill off to her. Um, but yeah, no, there's actually three of them that are still there. And this was 5 years ago. Some great
Three of
tenants.
them? Three of them still there? You
Three of them are
have
still there.
oh, three of the original
Three of the
tenants.
original
Yeah.
tenants when I bought it, yeah, are still there.
Hey, that's good
Nice.
retention. That's
Exactly.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Hey.
and this one was it was a great buy because it also floated the cash flow on it was great. It floated my other purchases too. I actually utilized this one and I wrapped it up in a combined loan to actually purchase my next four single family homes, 100% financing as well.
Wow. Same bank, same everything? Or are
Same
you still
bank,
working at
same
different banks?
lender. Yep, absolutely.
So what you're saying is you use other people's money to purchase essentially 9 units,
9 units.
and you
Twice.
had no prior really experience other than just loan writing and like mortgages and stuff like that.
Yep.
And then, I mean, we'll get to it
Brother.
at some point, but I feel like 9 is just too small of a number for Zach when it comes to no money out of pocket. So
Hey, hey,
that's
hey,
something we'll
hold up,
get
hold
to
up,
in the
hold up, hold up.
future.
Nine to me is like a
Mm-hmm.
mountain, right?
Yeah.
So I
So
need
yeah,
to I have
I bought
to
the
yeah.
five in August of 2020, and then I closed on the four in May of 2021.
You were
So
on
real quick,
fire.
and then so additionally, I kept looking around, and then I bought two more uh homes, single family homes on one lot. This one I did actually have to put 10% down. I did put
Okay.
7,000 out of pocket.
Same bank, same commercial?
Different. I use a different bank on this one.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to test how that bank lends money.
Okay.
Uh, I knew how the bank that I lends money. I knew how it works for commercial side, residential side. I wanted to test this bank, and it worked out because they let me drop do a 10% down payment, which was nice. So I did put 7,000 down on that one, and that was in November of 21.
Okay.
After that, I then bought in May of 22. I bought a duplex and a fourplex wrapped up in one loan using the first bank I used, and I put $2,500 out of pocket on that one.
Now I have to ask, you're purchasing a lot of units right now, right? Are you managing these yourself?
I'm managing them all myself while working full time at the bank. Yep.
Jeez, that is, where did you find the time, right? A lot of people you say, hey, I gotta get a property manager and stuff like that. Did you like get a CRM? Did you have a spreadsheet, all the stuff? Because we're talking about
Yeah,
over
I
years now,
utilize
right?
spreadsheets.
Okay.
I did. I had a separate bank, one of them bank bags I carried with me all the time. Um, and then I was bored again at the bank. So between my customers, between my clients, I was paying bills, managing properties.
Wow. That is very. So when did you scale up from there, right? Because from what I'm hearing, you're doing a lot of single family units, right?
Yeah,
So not single family, but residential multifamily, right? So
right.
how did you go up from there to larger multifamilies?
Well, from there, at this point, I have 17 units, right?
Okay.
So I got 17 units. At this point, we're talking that was in the spring of 22 where I purchased those last ones. Summer of 22 comes around and I quit the bank. I was just
Oh,
too bored. I quit.
jeez.
Um,
Starting to get burnt out,
He
weren't you?
he
no,
quit out of
no, I was
boredom.
bored.
He was just
Um,
bored.
well, I when I look at like think about being burnout versus bored, I kind of think of the same things. It's like usually if I'm bored, if I let it consume me, it'll make me burn out. So I just count bored, burnout. That's just
Yeah.
how it is.
Yeah,
No,
but it's
I
funny to me.
I would sit at my office desk and I would talk to the tellers. At this point, I had been promoted from personal banker to branch manager of a different, slower branch, lower volume branch.
Oh, okay, okay.
I was used to doing 4 million in loans, and what they asked of me was to do 1 million in loans.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, that's done. I did that,
You
met my
finished that in like a
goals.
month. You're just
Um,
like, now what?
but what I did is because I got bored, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go get my real estate license. So I quit the
Wow.
bank and I got my real estate license.
Now I have to ask, are you reading any books? Or are you just like, I'm gonna get my real estate license now, you know?
Oh, I'm
How do
reading
you
books. I'm still
okay,
reading
okay.
books, right?
Okay, good.
Up a little bit higher here, I have the entire Rich Dad collection. Um,
Oh, okay.
and
That makes sense.
that was
That
my
makes a lot of
main
sense.
my first. That was everything from before you quit your job, the cash flow quadrant, uh, that was Fish Dad Poor Dad. We're talking, what do we got? Like the guide to invest real estate investing, own your own corporation, tax advantages, loopholes of the rich. The whole Rich Dad collection is what I focused on for the first part of my investing career, and then I would read other ones too. But yeah, I was reading books. I was managing my properties. I was studying to become a real estate agent at this point, and I realized at that point I need money, right? I'm not working at the bank. My properties are cash flowing okay, but I'm not, taking a whole bunch of money from it because I'm reinvesting back into the properties.
Right.
Um, so I start small town home services. I start my own construction handyman company, and that's where I manage that for. I still am. Um,
Yeah,
but
I
I
have to
put a lot
ask.
of focus into that from 22 to I'd say 25. Um, where I started transitioning some focus and I built my team up a little bit better in small town where I was able to pull myself away from that uh, and kind of work on the business and not in the business. So I started looking for more properties. I started, you know, putting myself out there in the Pittsburgh market to see, what relationships I can build, what properties are out there, something like that. And I find a 48 unit apartment complex,
The infamous 48 unit.
the
I have
48
to
unit.
ask. You mentioned that needed cash, right? But you had 17 units at the time, right?
Mhm.
They were cash flowing, right? They weren't
They were
like
cash flowing, yeah.
so were you not paying yourself because you had the bank job at the time, right? So you're like, okay, my bank job is paying me, but these properties you're not paying yourself. You're just using that to reinvest.
Right, and I use that to reinvest. Things like upgrades, things like renovations, things like maintenance, um, and so I would use that to reinvest in the property, do maintenance on the properties. One of the big ones, I would say one of the headaches properties that I have recently got rid of was one of the four units I had purchased after the original five. This house ran on a spring. Well, the spring dried up.
Oh,
So I spent a lot of money trying to
whoa.
uh, figure out what was going on because it wasn't just the spring dried up. It was the spring slowed down, and the four other houses on the spring were still getting water, but this one wasn't.
I see.
So there's a lot of what was going on, a lot of investigative work. But
Dang.
I ended up getting rid of that one.
I don't know how. Did you sell it at a loss?
No, actually, these four units I sold again together to somebody else. I actually profited 20 grand on the purchase.
Okay.
These four units were actually cash flowing $200 per door for the time that I had them, and they were great. They were great properties. But yeah, I bought them four properties for 70,000. I sold them for 90.
and
Not
you
bad.
still had that passive cash flow of 200 per door.
Well, now that I sold them, I
Not,
haven't. But
not,
I
Yeah,
did
well,
when.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
that's
had I had been reinvesting on back into the business, back into the properties. So
that's one
I
of the
was
biggest
getting
things.
some money, from it. I was utilizing those funds to purchase other things, to do other things. I wasn't taking a paycheck from it.
hmm. So how did you build your team, right? Because you said you were building your team for the contracting business, right? And then you're scaling to the 48 unit, and you realize that the contracting team and your real estate team are two different sides of the coin, right? So did you utilize some of your contracting team in the real estate team, or did you build a whole different team for the real estate one?
Well, when I had the 17 units, I would utilize my small town team to do repairs and maintenance. I mean, that was an easy thing because was already working for other property managers that I had built business with. But when it came time with the 48 unit, this 48 unit complex it's a large rehab, a $400,000 rehab on it.
Mhm.
And that's kind of when I decided small town's going to pull back a little bit from the clients and do all the rehab on the 48 unit. But then I get a text one day from one of my techs saying I quit. Like this is my
Really?
last day. And I'm like, really? Okay.
Right when you buy the
That's
48, it's
how it
under
goes.
contract,
Yeah,
and then you're
exactly.
ready to send it over, then he's like, I quit. So
Yep.
there's just only one guy or a team.
I had one guy at that point, and then at that point I'm like, you know what? I can't come back to focusing 100% on the business. The one guy can't drive, he doesn't have his license. It's a whole fiasco of just logistics. So I'm like, you know what? I'm shutting it down in Indiana, PA, and we're moving it to Pittsburgh.
Okay. Did you know why that guy quit? Did he give you any reasons or why, or he was just
He
done?
he got a union job.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that makes
I
sense.
can't fault him for it. Not at all.
So,
So we're in the process right now, actually. As you know, Carl is partnering on that one to move small town to Pittsburgh. So
Yep.
we're in the process of doing that.
Yep.
and you're
But
building a team
and
out in Pittsburgh.
we're building that team in Pittsburgh.
How
Yep.
many people you think you'll need for this team in Pittsburgh, give or take?
My goal, and I've told Carl this, is two teams of two.
Hmm.
Two teams of two is what I want in Pittsburgh area because then we have two crews running around doing maintenance for clients.
Hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
And then
Yeah.
and a lot of things. The reason for two is to keep each other accountable as well.
And that's one thing that I noticed too is, with the two guys that I brought with me, I noticed that if I split them up and send them to do two different tasks, they're each going to be spending more time going back and forth and checking on each other to make sure they're being accountable. And I've actually noticed this. Like they'll walk over and be like, "Oh, what are you doing? You doing your work? Okay, cool." And then they'll go over there. But there's that balance of every time they walk over, how much wasted time is that within a day, within a week, within a year? So
Right,
if
right.
you just if we just like Zach when he gave me
But
the idea of two teams of two, you group them together. Another set of eyes and hands keeps another person responsible and accountable. And then if they have an issue and they can't figure out, then they call the people that would be Zach and I. So
Right.
it's one of those things where they're really starting to get onto it, and especially with like time frames and stuff. Like I set a time frame with them for getting these 13 units so it could be shown, and they said, well, we'll have it done. And they actually, I was up doing stuff in 51, and they stayed a little bit later after I had left because they had one more coat to finish and they ran out of mud. And you get what I'm saying? It's they're starting to hold themselves accountable without me there. And that was my biggest concern because I was always with them working. And now that I've been pulling back and like I had how many maintenance requests to fulfill today? Like
right,
four or five or six. I was able to get three of them because three answered their doors, the other three did not.
Hmm.
But I can't be there with them. But the thing is they were sending me updates throughout the day and how all of my teaching and training and all of Zach's like, hey, I want to know what's going on. Like Zach told me put all of the updates in the group chat and stuff. Even when I'm not with them, but I'm at the same site, they're still sending me like, 30-minute to an hour updates on what they're working on and what they've got done and sending pictures. So it's something it's great. And thankful for Zach and him actually being like, you know what? Because I would split them up. I'm like, if we had three people working in three units, it'll be simpler. But when we
Hmm.
actually, if there was three in one and we had all the materials and time and stuff, it'd be fast too. But that's when you start getting in the way of other people. And
Hmm.
Zach, it's two people in there. That's big enough for. I like to say when it goes to square footage, you allow 300 square foot per person. If it's a 600 square foot, apartment that you're working in, you don't need three people in there. That's all it's going to do is
Interesting.
counteract productivity.
Interesting. Interesting.
You get into the bigger three bedrooms and full houses, well, then you can have somebody working on each floor.
I have a question for you guys. How do you pick your team members? This is a very important question, especially in business, because I heard that, partnerships are like a marriage. If you pick people who aren't really into what you're trying to accomplish, they will let you down. So how do you
yeah.
guys know
No,
how
I
to do
mean,
that?
when you talk about team building the teams, a lot of it is hire slow, fire fast.
I was,
When you're building that team and you're looking for team members and laborers, especially in the contracting business, just hire slow, fire fast, because you need those A players. You need those ones that will get the job done and will take accountability. And if you don't see them doing that, get them out. We had a conversation, Carl and I, where I was looking at him like one needs to go, and he's like, okay, well he needs to step it up or he's gonna go. All right. Well then I had another crew working on the 48 unit for a while there too, and the quality of work wasn't there. The attitude wasn't there that I was looking for, so I let him go. And it's business, so unfortunately, I'm sorry for you guys is luck, or I'm sorry you were hoping for this paycheck, but I'm running a business, and
Right.
it really is just how you feel and how you jive with somebody.
It's and that's one of the biggest things I can say. And even when there was the other people that were there, working on it, I would go up there and ask them if they needed materials and stuff. Like I would try to make sure that everything was going very smoothly. And it seemed as if it was just, like even little things when we did our first walkthrough, with 45-minute mud, using stuff like that versus 24-hour. Because now you have to wait 2 to 3 days versus being able to do 2 to 3 coats in one day. So you've already set yourself back 2 days just on something very simple with paint and patch.
Hmm.
And it's one of those things where, and I even said this to my one guy, like I'm pretty sure we were outside 42. And there was something I had a conversation with him about, phone usage and if you're doing something where you're calling me, you're confused, great, that's fine. But sitting down and everything, we're not doing that. Well, uh we go up there to look at 39 or 42, and Zach comes out and he was like, you just had that conversation with, he was sitting there. I said, well, he's done. And then, I had that conversation with him essentially of like, this is terminated. And he let me know what was going on in his private life and everything. And I said, okay, well, you have one more chance. You have 5 days to show me that you can, pick it up and put it back to where it was whenever I had you before we started working at Grace. And you know what? He did. There's some times where you gotta, nudge him a little bit. And Zach knows it's just everybody gets off task. I do. I actually just asked Zach to keep me accountable because I suffer with seasonal depression, especially during winter, because I can't go outside. It's dark when I leave, and it's dark when I get home. That really affects me. But you know what? Zach's going to stay on me, keep me accountable, so I can break this bad habit. Because, like I said, habits and everything, one of the biggest things. If you can create good ones, then the rest of your life will follow. But if you honor
Yep.
bad habits,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's Atomic Habits right there.
I was just looking at that. Whenever I said it, I didn't realize it was behind him.
So you got
Yep.
the 48 unit sack and you built this monster, right? Were you ever afraid or like maybe like I don't know, am I getting in over my head with all these things that you're working on? Because there's a lot of people out there, especially me, right? When I was trying to submit offers on deals, it took me a long time to realize just submit the offer. If they say no, they'll say no. Sometimes they say yes. So
Yep.
whatever.
Yeah, January of this year, I think I submitted 35 to 40 offers in those 2 months, January, February, and I would get back no replies, or I would get back thanks for your interest, but no, you're a little low, you're a lot low.
You
Do
laughed
you
at. I've been
do you
laughed
have a
at.
counter offer? And I'd send them a counter offer, and I'd still be low, or and then I even got an email once from a broker who said, "Listen, I see you're sending all kinds of LOIs, all kinds of offers into these properties. It seems like you're looking for, a unicorn. You're being unrealistic. But here's this property I want you to take a look at." And I'm like,
And
"Oh,
then,
this one works. This one
what
works great. Here's my offer."
are you
And
talking
I actually
about?
get that one under contract.
Yeah.
Here's a
Uh,
unicorn.
Here,
The
right,
game
you
is a
exactly.
can't
unicorn.
find him. Here's your
Yeah.
unicorn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it doesn't exist. Okay, so this is a unicorn, you know?
Can't's a swear word. I'm telling you. I think it should be added. Like if you start doubting and not speaking into existence, you're just already behind the ball.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that was the funniest thing because I put my offer in on that one. They came back and said no, or we accepted another offer. And then about a month or so later, they call me up and say, "Hey, that one fell through. Do you want to put another offer in?" So I put another offer in lower than my original, and they took it.
Yeah, I
Now
mean,
that one did not end up working out through the due diligence period and everything, and however it worked, that one didn't come to fruition. But they're out there. They're out
they
there
are out there.
where you're buying properties for well below ask because these people are either getting desperate, they just want out of it, or they're stuck and they just can't find a buyer to close.
Isn't
Makes
isn't
sense.
that what happened with the 6 unit that we looked at? It was like the ARV didn't come back, but they accepted an offer that was much lower than what they were asking. Or did you
Well,
submit
yeah, the
per?
6 unit we were looking at, absolutely. They accepted an offer. That one didn't work out. We put in an offer in, and they said that's too low. We're not accepting it. And I'm like, well, the 60K is our lowest, our highest offer. Um, they then called me back up the next day and said, "Hey, would if we sign this today, is that offer still valid?" Absolutely. We walked through it. We looked at it. We
Mhm.
sent it up to our lender. The ARV didn't come back high enough for the lender's comfort, so we walked away from that
Hmm.
one. But yeah, they do. I mean, you set them in an offer and you stick to your guns. If that's the highest you're going to go, you let them know it's the highest you're going to go, and they're either going to say okay and walk away from you, or they'll come back to you.
That just happened with us, Zach. We had a property where it only worked at 120. And even
Yep,
then, 120 is pushing it. And then they're like, oh no, they got another buyout at 145. And I was like, doesn't work for us at 145. We're out. And
right,
then he was like, all
exactly.
right, we're out. And I was sitting there thinking about it after we did that. I was like, if that 145 don't work, they're gonna come back and I'm gonna give them 110 or even
Yep.
100,
Yep. 105.
Yeah,
Yep.
Just make it
105.
a little bit above 100, but it's, it just because of
Yeah.
my time and messing around. Now you lose at 15. It's
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
just
because Zach said, "Hey, yeah, there's other people looking at it," and I was like, "Yeah, but tell them we can close. Like, tell them we're gonna close. Tell them that we can close,
Yep.
right? We're trying to
That's
get
okay
it."
too. But I haven't told you this yet. I didn't text it to you. But he called me tonight, actually just about an hour before we get on this call here, and he's like, "Hey, your buyers, are they value add?" I was like, "Yeah, mainly value add, but we'll take a look at stuff." He's okay. I have one off market. I'm gonna send you information.
Oh,
Awesome. So once I get into my email, I will send it over to you, and we'll
oh
take a look.
yeah.
that's gonna be cool.
Oh
That's
But
yeah.
cool. And
Yeah.
then, and
but
you see, that's the thing, right? Because we're not sitting there submitting officers, sending offers and being confident, like, "Hey, we're gonna close whatever." People aren't really interested. And when I said Zach, like, tell them we're gonna close. He's like, "I'm gonna use all my tricks," And I was like, "You need to teach me these tricks, man,"
In
because I
time?
want to use them too,
a
right?
lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
it too, a
Anytime.
lot of it too is the relationship between the agent as well, because I'm still an agent,
Ah,
right?
ah.
So I'm actually on the phone with it now. Now, realistically, what we should have done is we should have sent over paperwork to you, signed the paperwork that your official offer is this, and submitted it to him with an official offer. And I'm on the phone with him. I'm like, "Hey, Mike, you guys are negotiating. You had your other buyers come in with a counter offer. I can tell you what my buyers wanna offer. You could let me know if we're in the ballpark." He goes, "Yeah, okay. So they're offering 110. Yeah, yeah. These buyers are pretty much coming in at ask. So there was a mutual respect there where we're like, okay, let's just have a conversation of agent to agent. What are our buyers doing? Our buyer
Right.
wants to come in. My buyer wants to come in at 110. All right. Well, the other buyer was coming in at almost ask. And then he's like, do you have any contingencies? I says, no, we have no contingencies on it, no inspection period, no anything. Uh, and he's like, all right, that might be a little better, but the only issue is that these guys have contingencies and stuff. All right, well, I will see if I can bring it up anymore. So before I had a chance to even text him back 120, a little bit later, he says, well, we have it under agreement. Congratulations. I'm
Okay.
glad you do.
Congratulations.
You know?
We'll see if they close.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And that's when
Yeah.
he called me up. Like he texted me, I said congratulations. He texted me, I appreciate it. And then I get a phone call at the same time, like, by the way, I have this off-market deal.
No, nice.
All right, sounds good. Send me the information.
Yep.
So yeah,
On
we're
that
not going to
note,
get every deal we
yeah.
look at. We're not going to
Uh,
get. You can look at hundreds of deals. You can analyze hundreds of deals. And if you can get one of those, awesome.
Hey, one of those could be the one that brings you that passive cash flow that unlocks the rest of your life, you know?
Hmm.
to be honest with you, I'm trying to do a lot of those. Yeah, I'm trying to do a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
those.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to unlock generations.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
What you
It's
need to
on that
find is a
note.
48 unit deal like I did. That's a life changer deal right here.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. But I gotta get there, right? Gotta get there. I want to start with the smalls, get
Yep.
something in there, and then like you do, right? In 2 years, you can sell those 1031 into one of those big 48, 58 units, Yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then do
I like
multiple
1031.
refinances.
I've done one of those myself, and that was nice. I actually sold off the four single family homes and 1031 them into my condo in Myrtle Beach.
Nice.
So
Nice.
Now that's
That's
an
a nice.
unlimited vacation spot.
And
vacation spot, Airbnb,
Yeah.
absolutely.
it's nice.
Yep.
It's nice. I had the liberty of seeing it. It's pretty nice. The beach is
Yeah.
right there. So
Yeah.
it's nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So now, yeah, I'm at 78 units right now in total.
Wow.
So where are you planning on going from here? And we haven't really discussed your buy box or anything like that, but
200.
where are you at and where do you want to go and how fast do you want to do it? What's the scaling this? I mean, you already did 48 units. Is that going to be 60, 80, 100? What's next? What's
Well, that's
next
the thing. I
for
mean, I did 48 units for Grace, and then just from that deal, just from closing on 48 units, that seller gave us another 18. So we
Yeah.
closed on the 18 in November. So we're stabilizing that now too. That's a lot easier because it's already pretty rented and doesn't need a lot of maintenance, which is nice. But we bought that fairly cheap as well. Um, but
Got a question for you.
as far as the future, now I'll tell you, like the beginning of this year, my three main goals was I wanted to acquire a total of 100 units. I
Oh,
wanted to be a millionaire,
okay.
and I wanted to grow small town. Okay.
Okay.
Well, small town, we got had hiccups, and we're working on that. But the 100 units, I'm at 78. Not quite there yet. Probably not going to make it 78. Probably not going to make the 100. But as far as millionaire, 1.5. I jumped from the beginning of this year from half a million to 1.5. I'm happy with that.
Okay.
We're gonna take off from there. But as far as next year, my goal is to by end of 2026, I will have under management 300 units. I want to have a $5 million net worth.
I was thinking small. I was thinking like 200. And you're thinking 300? I
Well,
hope I can
think
help
about
you there,
this.
right?
If he was able
Yeah.
to get those 48 plus 18, that's 60, what, 64, 66,
Hmm.
64,
Something like that.
66,
Something
66.
like that. I'm not doing the math
I
right
know my
now.
total number, 78.
Yeah, and that was in how long? How long of a period did it take for you to acquire those from
Well,
the start?
I got the 48 under contract in May. We closed in September. So that was four
Yeah.
months. And then 3 months after that, or was I 2 months, September, November? Yeah. 2 months after that, we closed another 18.
So essentially, in 6 months, you did 60 some units.
Right.
You did that essentially. I mean, obviously, you have your support group and the people that you talk to. You did that virtually with no money out of pocket.
15,000 out of pocket.
Compared
50,000
to
out
what
of
it's
pocket.
worth, that's nothing.
Right.
That's nothing.
That's literally nothing. So I see, how you're doing and what you're doing, and you even see like I walk around and look at what you're looking at. Like I'm trying to sculpt what I'm doing, following because obviously your path is I could provide the construction. You have that background too, but it's the big thing is just all that extra help with the back end stuff of small town. It's
Hmm.
just really opened the eyes to what can possibly be possible with acquiring multifamily real estate.
And the right people around you.
Exactly. The
Yes.
right team. The
Like
team that you can
I will,
trust.
that is more important. The right people around you is more important than any good deal.
I agree with
Because
that, man.
with the right people around you, for example, I had an employee, that was similar to that he just up and quit. And it was right before we had this huge contract we got to put in 4 brand new full tile bathrooms at this place up in Wexford. Right? I ended up losing it because of that. And that's when I started to hire off people that I know how they're going to act at all times. Because I don't like surprises. Nobody likes them, especially
Yeah.
in the real estate business world.
There was one year in small town where I'm on vacation, my family vacation. We were in New York. Now I had we were in upstate New York, no cell phone service, only until we got to town and all kinds of stuff. And I find out when I got back from the week of vacation that my employee that I had working for small town hadn't shown up that week. He never came back.
Interesting.
And I was like, this whole week I was thinking work was getting done.
Work was getting done, money's coming in, I'm on vacation,
Yeah.
life is
Interesting.
good.
Things happen, and things happen in business that you can't expect, and you just gotta roll with it.
Whenever I saw that, small town could work with us is whenever we were at the summit and they were sending updates and videos and pictures and things were getting done.
Yep.
That's when I was like, you know what? I don't have to be, up their rear end for them to get stuff done. They'll just
And this
do
was
it
over this
because
was
they
over
don't
a
want me to be
weekend.
disappointed.
This was over a weekend. I gotta make
Yeah.
sure people understand that. This was like a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
No.
No, this was over a weekend getting
Yeah.
updates.
They're
And that's,
updating me.
yeah.
Like on Saturday at 5 o'clock, I got a text from them. These are 21-year-old, 20 and 20-year-old kids. And
Hmm.
you know what when I was in 20 and 21,
You're
I
still
wanted
a
to go out and
kid.
have a good time. I mean I still am. Yeah,
Boss
but
man's not here. We can do
yeah.
whatever we want.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is when I'm not there, they're like they manage their money right, or my one guy did, so that way he could buy the materials when I wasn't there because he knew that was coming because Zach made us aware. That's the
Right.
thing. They're 21 years old and they're able to not have the money burn a hole in their pocket, but save it because they know that they're going to need materials and that they will get reimbursed because there is that trust there. If you have trust in business, you will never fail. But once that trust starts to, and I know some things can come up and things like that, but once that starts to go, then there's going to be other slips of other things. So you got to really be able to trust, who you're willing to do these deals with. Because think about it, a bad deal could be a really bad thing for your life. And that's one thing Walter said. He goes, stay away from bad deals.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. I get it. I mean, bad deal. He's one of his deals was extremely bad, and he was trying to figure out every way to get out of it. But he was helping someone, right? And he felt like I'm helping this lady. It's probably best, but it was killing him.
Here's another question I have for you, Zach. What keeps you disciplined throughout the week? Like you say, you're reading all these books, you have all these meetings. I mean, you have kids, you have a wife, you have, all of these things to worry about in a day. How do you find the time to split and allocate to make sure everybody is fulfilled, but also not pulling away from what's able to provide for them?
So I time block. My calendar is full of blocks of time. There's no white space in my calendar because it's all taken up with what I'm doing from all the way from getting up in the morning, getting in the car. I have blocked time to drive to the gym, time to work at the gym, time to drive, over to the office, time to take a shower. Then I'm either driving to the 48 unit or I'm driving to one other property, or it's a different day where I'm doing buildium task management and then small town task management. There's a block in there where I'm networking, doing networking meetings or deal analysis. It's a block in there for anyone who schedules my calendar. If you go and schedule my calendar, you only have an option to book time with me within those blocks. Um,
Oh,
and then when it comes to the kids and family, they come first. So if I have to drop everything that I'm doing and go take care of a kid or family, that's what I do. But I know that we also share a family calendar that links to my calendar as well. So I have four screens, I have four computer screens, and my calendar sits always up here, and I'm always looking at it, and I'm always getting notifications. So
That
it's keeping
way,
me on track. My phone goes off, my wife's phone goes off because my calendar's linked to her phone, so she knows what I'm doing all the time too. But again, we have a family calendar as well that family calendar is linked to my calendar. The kids have access to the link to the family calendar and can add tasks to it, add their concerts, add their scouts, add swim meets, add all kinds of stuff like that. And if it conflicts with anything that I'm doing, that comes first.
so here's the question. And so you do all these proper precautions, in all of your life in real estate to make sure everything lines up so that way you can provide the most, the best quality of life for everybody around you. How do you stay calm when, something runs over and you have to pull time for something and, that affects somebody? How are you able to, not let your emotions take control of, certain things?
That's a good question. And to be honest, I don't know why it seems to be easier for me. I can't really answer that question as to what I do differently. I've always been more of a calm, laid back person. When people are
hmm.
more pissed off and more ticked off by a situation, I'm more analytical.
Just like the light, whenever I went in there and there was water in the light fixture, and I was like, and then the flickering lights and things. I had a completely different approach to it, but I'm learning by seeing you interact that sometimes just calming down a little bit, and then reassessing with a different mindset will give those options, for
Yeah,
productivity.
yeah, and like I said, I'm a lot more laid back than a lot of people that I know. So I don't go to anger real fast, and I don't go
Same.
to frantic panic real fast. I analyze. a lot. Um, I will sit there and I will stare at something until I have an answer.
I
And to
remember
answer
that.
your
There's been
Yeah, to answer your question, Carl, I know you didn't ask me, but I want to give my 2 cents.
oh, of course.
Yeah, when it comes to stuff like that, I always default to, will this emotion help me get this done? And if the answer usually is no, then I don't use that emotion, right? Being calm in that situation can happily help me handle that way easier than getting angry or getting upset, so, or getting, scared. So unless the emotion is going to help me in any way, I try not to use it. And
Yeah,
anger
and
rarely
I go back
helps. Yeah.
to an example. It did take a while for me to understand that the emotion doesn't really help. That don't let your emotions affect your decision making. Because I mean, there was one day that I'm recalling back when I was at still the bank, still investing in properties. I had put in three offers, and all three got accepted. And this
Okay.
was between the first 9 units and this other two
Okay.
in the 2021 year. And I couldn't figure out immediately how I was going to close all three of these. So I'm in the bank, in the lobby, I'm pacing, I'm stressing out, I'm wondering what's going on, how to do this. And I had to like get that out of my system and then make a decision and then figure out what I'm doing. Come to find out, one wouldn't give me their financials, so that was a contingency, and I walked away from it. Another one uh, stopped responding, so I walked away from that one. I finally closed on the 2 unit, a little bit later. So that was the first time I had ever gotten multiple offers accepted at once. So that because it was a first, I was a little scared, I was a little worried about it.
Oh, I know you were probably like, oh boy, this isn't good. I submitted these offers, like these are like requirements now if they accept them, and
Yep.
uh, but it seems like you found ways to rid the two worst offers out of the group of three. Like
Yeah.
you went through it and you were like, well, I really don't like this offer, or I really don't like these financials. They're not being this open. Well, then I'm going to pull back from this, and
Mhm.
then through your due diligence, like you constantly say you were able to find the right deal versus deals that could have had problems in the future.
Right.
I
Yeah.
also believe
So
though it's a challenge, So like for
Smart.
example, when I remember because I told my wife this when Zach was like, "Hey guys, I got these 28 units, can I raise 200,000?" And I was like, "Nah, there's no way." And then I was like, "We can sure try." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know."
and I'm
And
like,
then
there
it
is no
became like,
try.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And then it
there
was
is no
like,
try.
okay, so now that we're actually doing this, how can I do this? Like, where can I go? What research can I have? And it helped me vet a lot of people that in the past told me that, soft commits, and they're like, no, I can't do it with this. I don't know the market, etc. So help me vet that and help me understand that maybe I can't do it by myself. And let me just see if I can bring other people in and see if I can bring other partners. And then that's where we're like, oh, I could probably start a lending business and get people to lend me their money instead of doing it through like a syndication because I want to do syndication and all that. It's a lot of a headache, and lending is a lot easier.
Yeah.
So it's all that it makes you think more creative when you get into those challenging situations. And I feel like if you don't get into challenging situations, you won't think of other ways to handle situations like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
So
did you see it after the mastermind? I posted on the chat that we're looking for funds, and I actually had a conversation with Doug McGurk after
oh,
that.
look at
That
that.
he's actually reaching out to a couple of his people. So, things come with that just because of the
Yeah,
people you know.
It's just
exactly. Exactly.
connections. And it doesn't have to always be like, oh, that's my best friend, but it's somebody that is looking for the common goal and the common mindset and vision that you guys set forth together. That's the
Yeah,
biggest thing. Making
Right. I
sure
mean,
it's
there's
the
a
mindset.
parallel
and from the
vision.
lending side of things too, I mean, Manny, you're talking to people who have money that they want a good
Right.
return on, and you're
Yeah,
offering a higher return than stocks and less risk than stocks. You're offering a higher return than CDs, higher return than bonds, and easier to manage than like a 401k.
exactly. Yeah, people don't. It's really hard to. It's not the mindset thing because I've spoken to a
Mhm.
lot of people about the lending aspect, and like, oh, it's so risky. It's like, I don't know if it's backed by real estate. It's like, yeah, but how do you know that it will get fixed and repaired? It's like these people have done it multiple times. I've seen the results, right? I've
Here's your
seen the
track record.
results.
Exactly.
Here's a track record. And even then, it's that mindset. People, it's like what I said, the mom said million in 10 years. And it's like, nah, I can do that way sooner than 10 years. If I'm doing it 10 years, that's a failure on my part.
The
So
moment
it's just
I put be a millionaire as a goal, it came a lot faster. I have a paper in my desk at the office that I wrote on last year in 24. And then I wrote on it that I will be a millionaire by August of 2026.
look at
And
that.
but the moment I wrote that down, it came a lot faster than just waiting for it.
It's the setting the
Exactly.
vision, the expectations. It's the mindset of, when you put your mind to something, it sounds corny,
Yep,
but if you put your mind to it and you give the proper time and the energy and the effort, then the results have to follow. Or
exactly.
something better will come from that and all that effort. Somebody will notice.
Yeah,
Not only
and with that too is I had that paper in my hand when we were writing our yearly goals, my wife and I, and I told her that I want to be a millionaire by August 2026, and she wrote down a millionaire by December 2025, and I'm
it's
like, but I said, and she goes, no, no, it's okay.
okay. You have your small
I
dreams.
know
I have
exactly
a
how
big
she would
dream.
say it too.
Yeah.
No, 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 it's all right.
It's gonna happen.
I fixed this.
You'll see. You'll learn.
Yep.
That's what a good team and support group though. Like it with like my fiance, I couldn't do anything without her. Like there's a lot of things she does behind the scenes that takes away from, stresses that I could have. And I know it's probably the same for Zach and you,
No,
Manny, as
yeah,
well.
yeah, it
It's
is.
who you have around you.
Yep.
100%. 100%. It's that
Yeah.
it,
Well,
it took me
gentlemen,
a
it's
while.
we've been chatting for an hour. What else? Anything else you want to know before we
What
jump
we
off
have
here?
done.
I mean,
So, I have. You started Scale Nation, Zach. This was your baby, and then you
yes.
invited Zach and me to it. So, I have to ask, what does Scale Nation mean to you?
So when I first started, when this brainchild came to me, I was sitting in silence in my office, writing on my whiteboards, um, and it was I want to teach. I want to teach others what I'm doing. I want to spread this knowledge. And I know there are hundreds of other real estate gurus or mentors and stuff like that, but everybody reaches everybody else. So
Mhm.
through networks, I have my mentors, you guys have your mentors, but I've reached people already in this mission that wouldn't have known of any other mentor or wouldn't have signed up for someone like Grant Cardone or or any of these other guys, right?
Right.
Um, and it was I want to teach these people who want to invest in real estate. I want to offer my knowledge. Um, and I don't have the knowledge of just real estate. I have knowledge in business.
In
So
cooking.
it yes, I could open a restaurant, right?
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is a
So he
jack
could
of
get the
all, this
funding for
guy.
it and the renovation budget,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
He got his contractors
And do the
building.
plumbing.
All right.
And do the plumbing. Yeah.
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 Jeez.
Yeah.
But it was more I want to teach, right? I want to build a nation of people who want to help other people scale in real estate, in business, in life. And that's why I started Scale Nation. But it didn't really take off too quickly, and it was just me, and I'm out there trying to build this website with the help of my VA, and she's great. But I was also trying to manage properties. I was trying to run small town. I was doing too much, so we let that kind of sit to the side. Um, and so then the three of us start talking about what's going on or what we want to do, and I'm like, guys, I have this Scale Nation already set up.
Yeah.
It's exactly what we talked about wanting to do. Let's just
It's who you know.
build it.
Let's just
Yeah.
scale it. It's right there.
Yep. Let's scale it.
Let's scale
Scale it across the country.
it. Yeah, I get it. I
So
get it.
Scale Nation is for me, like I said, a group of people who want to help others grow in business, in life, in real estate.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I was just reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he's like that. You want to give back, right? You've gotten so much, you learned so much that you want to give back what you can, and it's always good to give back. When you get to, I think most people once they get over $1 million, they become really generous with their time and knowledge, and people see that all the rich people are the bad guys, but no, no. If you sit and actually talk to them, you see that they're just like you and me.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyone who wants to go on to scalenationusa.com and find out more, it's right there.
Right.
Just click
Hit
it.
us up.
All right, gentlemen.
All right, guys.
Great
Thank
talking
you
to
for
you
your time,
tonight.
guys.
Thank you for your time. We will see you later from